Welcome to ICEF Monitor. I'm sitting here with Jean-Marc Alberola, the president of Bridge. Bridge has been an established player in the market. How do you see the marketplace changing?
Well, I've been in this industry for 25 years, and I'd say the last 10, it seems like every year the growth gets accelerated. I think the first game changer was the internet, which changed the way we market and reach our customer. So that's one change. Recently, we've seen government legislation affect our industry, especially in the U.S. market with the Accreditation Act, and that's had a change. I think the main one is it sort of protects incumbents and makes it difficult to enter the market. If you want to open a center quickly, that's hard to do. It has to be done through acquisition, or if you go through all the hoops of accreditation and then federal approval through CEVIP, so you can issue student visas, that can take 24 months. Other changes have been in demographics. We're seeing in the U.S. the declining number of high school graduates going to U.S. universities each year, and this is projected to happen for the next 10 years. And then in emerging markets, you're seeing increase. So that's affecting the way our markets, opportunities in our industry as well. And then I guess one other area is the language travel industry as a whole, or ELT, English language industry, and the language travel as a subset. Sometimes we don't realize how the industry as a whole can affect the language travel sector. So as an example, we're seeing more and more opportunity for students to learn language in their country as the market matures. And that's affected the language travel sector in several ways. One is we're seeing students arriving with higher levels of English, or in some cases studying for shorter periods of time because they already have a higher level of English. I have a suspicion that a lot of this move towards English Plus programs is a result of students already having a high level of English, and so looking to mix that with other alternate opportunities, be it internships or tourism of some kind. So those are some of the key areas of change I've seen.
So you mentioned that the students are arriving with stronger English skills. How is that affecting your business? How is that affecting Bridge's business?
Well, I think mostly the key one is in the duration of stay. I think students are staying for a shorter period of time. They have the opportunity to learn English in their country, so it's kind of like they're topping off their language skills with the travel. I think there's been some research done that's showing that general English programs are declining. That market's declining. Where you're seeing growth is in junior programs over students at a younger age, and then in university pathways, students interested in academic English.
So you mentioned the government regulations. What challenge does that mean for the country? What challenge does it mean for the industry?
Well, I think in this case, the government regulation is creating a situation where if you want to be new to the market and you want to enter it, it creates a certain level of barrier to entry. Having to get accredited takes time, and the statute is written in such a way that it requires schools to be established. So I think in the short of it, if you want to enter this marketplace quickly, you'd really have to do it through acquisition. And then even organically, as you open new branches or new centers, there's a length of time that you have to go through to go get your accreditation and then eventually the federal approval through CEVIP, which, because the Accreditation Act, when it was enacted, there was a backlog of schools looking to get accredited for the very first time. That's also been a challenge. So I think we're seeing continuous change as the statute gets interpreted and new issues crop up. And so this has been a challenge, a certain level of uncertainty and anxiety that gets created as a result of that.
So would you say that the government regulation is making the country less attractive as an inbound destination?
Not necessarily. I don't know that that's the case. I think I'm looking at it more from a perspective of growth of the industry. It's not as open as a free marketplace as it might be. That's kind of the consequence of the regulation. On one end, I think you could argue that it's a good thing because it requires accreditation and it's raising the standards of the programs. So there's always pros and cons.